If you want your square knots to look neat and tidy, this is what you need to do. Hi everyone, my name is Nicole and welcome back to BOCHIKNOT Macrame. In this channel you will find everything macrame related, from DIY pattern tutorials, tips and tricks, and best practices for your knotting journey. So if you guys are interested in learning macrame with me, then click that subscribe button, and then also give me a follow on Instagram at BOCHIKNOT for our latest macrame designs and also some quick tips and knot tutorials on our Instagram reels. So do you guys sometimes struggle with getting neat and tidy looking knots? The idea of getting nice and tidy knots sounds simple, and it actually really is simple. You just have to give it a little bit more time while you are knotting up your macrame piece. In this video tutorial, I will be sharing with you guys 3 different tips on how you can get nice and tidy looking square knots for your macrame projects. Some of these tips will apply to other knots as well, but there are some specific tips that will apply to the square knot only, so make sure you stay tuned to find out what that is. Hopefully by the end of this, you guys will learn something different that you can apply to your own macrame projects. And without further ado, let's get started. I will be using the cords attached to the dowel here to demonstrate some tips for neat knotting on square knots. Let's first start off by making a square knot with the outer left and right cords. So we're going to make a half knot and then make an opposite half knot after that. Once you are completed with the square knot, we're going to pull on the anchor cords so to prevent any scrunched up cords right above or inside the square knot. Oftentimes, as you are making the square knot, the anchor cords are wrapped up inside of the outer cords, and so there could be scrunched up cords, especially right above it. So it is definitely good practice after every square knot to pull on those anchor cords quickly so that there are no scrunched up cords and that the knot stays nice and even. So for the first 2 square knots here, I have pulled on the inner anchor cords right after they were made to make sure that the knots were nice and even and that there are no scrunched up cords. I'm just going to show you for this 3rd square knot, I'm not going to pull on the inner cords. As you can see, it hangs down a little lower than the left 2 square knots. So we're just going to pull on the inner 2 anchor cords and it will be aligned and even against the last 2 square knots. The next important step that I do after every square knot or after every square knot row is I make sure that I readjust and either loosen up the knot or tighten the knot further to make sure that they are even compared to the other square knots in the row. And as you can see, that's what I have done here with the first square knot on the left. And then lastly, try your best to keep the tension as consistent as possible. So either keep it loosely tight or tightly snug. For me, I usually find it way easier to keep it tightly snug, so a little bit more on the tighter end. I find it by making a little tighter, it makes for neater knots and for less adjustments afterwards. And that concludes our 3 tips on how you can get nice and tidy looking macrame square knots. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and learned a new tip or 2 on how you can get nice and tidy looking knots. As you may have learned from the video, if you would have proceeded and made all your knots without stopping after each knot and going back and readjusting and pulling on the cords, you may end up with slightly uneven knots. So I would definitely recommend taking your time to make your macrame project if you do want it to turn out looking nice and tidy. If you are a beginner in macrame and you're looking to advance your skills to the next level, we do go over that in detail on our BOCHIKNOT Macrame community on Patreon. That is where we release exclusive macrame tutorials and lessons targeted at specific themes for macrame. So for 2022, we are focusing primarily on creating your own designs. So we do have several creating your own designs macrame lessons that will be released this year and that have already been released. So if you guys are needing help with how to get inspired and how to plan your projects appropriately and how to measure cord lengths, etc., then learning macrame through our community may be right for you. For more details, you can check out the link in the video description below. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and stay tuned for our neat knotting tips part 2 coming very soon. As always, thank you guys for watching and I'll see you guys next time.